This Philco PT-44 is one of my favorite radios. I appreciate the dome top, the curved sides, and the fact that the back is finished. In this video, we're going to open the set up and look at the vacuum tubes and some of the other surprising features of this set. Underneath the radio, we find this placard, which identifies the tubes. This particular set is interesting because it has a mix of what are known as Loktal and octal tubes, which I'll show in a minute. I've already loosened the screws, so let's go ahead and remove the back. Next, we remove the volume control and tuning knobs. The radio itself is removed by taking out these two screws. At this point, we have to be very careful so we don't damage the set. Specifically, we need to watch out for the antenna, which is wound underneath this material. And if we look inside, we can just make out the wires leading to that antenna. There, the chassis is out, and we can see that those two wires are still intact. Let's go ahead and remove this 7C6 tube. What we're going to do is stick the screwdriver underneath, like so, and then pry up. We're also going to remove the 50L6 tube, which is over here. We're going to pull up and rotate as we remove it. Here we see the tubes side by side. This is an octal socket. Normally there's 8 pins. There's a center point here, and then there's an indexing pin of plastic at this point. This is a Loktal socket. It also has 8 pins, but you'll notice that there's a metal to glass seal, and the pins are extended straight out of the glass, whereas the octal typically has a base where the pins come out of the glass envelope and then are soldered in place. This tube is called a Loktal because of this point right here. As the tube is inserted into its socket, a metal tab will lock into this point, securing the tube in place. To install a Loktal, we put it into position, we spin until we feel it drop into the index pin, and then we push down, and maybe you heard it lock into place. The octal socket is similar. We set the tube on top, rotate it until it falls into place, and then push down. Before we depart, there's a few other things I'd like to show you. This is the tuning capacitor. You can see the metal plates engage as we move the tuning dial. This is the pilot lamp. It has a bayonet base. It's very similar to a B and C connector that you might find on an oscilloscope, where you push in and turn, locking it into place. I'm hesitant to tell you the last thing, but I think I will anyway. This radio was built in 1941. For the time, it is quite small. Because it is small, there's a problem with heat generation. One of the ways the designers took care of that can be seen inside the case. And I'm not going to tell you, but I'm going to ask and hope that you put it in the comments. What is this white pad that's mounted underneath the receiver?